Good day, friends. New project, and I'm in a bit of a rush because I'm just starting to lose the light, it being this time of year, autumn time. So I want to get this one out. I'm just going to show you the case ever so quickly before I get it out, and that might give you an idea as to what type of guitar this is. But then again, it might not, because it might not be the case that the guitar comes with. But got an absolute beauty here, and you'll recognise it as soon as I pick it up. And there you go. Look at that. So you already know it's a Jim Root Telecaster. It's a Fender. And I know what I paid for this, and it makes me sick. He got this for 300 quid. Mexico, absolute beauty, with the ebony fingerboard. My absolute favourite model, this one. And he likes it. If he saw this and he straight away, he got one with maple neck. He's put his one with maple neck up for sale, and he's bought this one. And I've looked it over, and while he was here I had the fret rocker over the frets, and we already know straight away it wants a fret level. So this is going to have the full bit. It's going to have an intensive setup. That's everything, electrics, frets, the lot. If the electrics are alright, it'll just be, basically it's just having a complete fret level with a setup. Strings are not under the string tree. I don't know why that is. A bit strange that, but it says it came like that. So it's going to have basically complete fret level, recrown, polish, the lot. Setup, intensive setup, job done. Not too difficult a job, 4 or 5 hours working that for me, so the sooner I crack on, the better. There's no point in going over with fret rocker and showing you all that, because we've already ascertained, me and Anthony, that he already knows that it needs a fret level. So I'm going to crack on with that. Strings we'll be going for, we're going for a drop C tuning with some slinky top, heavy bottom strings, 1052, great gauge of strings these. And this will be getting my best attention. So, might make a start on it tonight, might leave it till tomorrow, I don't know. I just wanted to get something on video, so it leaves me that option. If I'd have not done this video now, I wouldn't be able to work on it tonight, would I? At all. My wife's gone out skateboarding in Nottingham with her friends. She's a skater, my missus. She's into all that. Pretty much like I was, how many years ago? 40 odd years ago. There you go, as a skate punk about 35 years ago, so it's gone full circle for me. But anyway, going to crack on with this guitar. What a beautiful looking thing. Very, very nice guitar indeed. Back with an update later. Welcome back, fret friends. Now I have the neck off, ready for the frets being levelled. Removing the nut. I was going to replace the nut anyway, I normally always do, but regardless, I thought it was going to come out clean. It didn't. It came out less than clean. It came out in 2 bits, as you can see. So I'm going to replace it with proper Fender Cyclovac nut, exactly the same one that was in there. And you see that these are pre-radiused, and they fit exactly in the slot. All I have to do is make sure that I cut the slots in the right place, and it's pretty much, quite a simple job after that. I don't need it in now, so I'll remove it. I'm going to level the frets this way, not using the guitar body, using this as a replacement body. It means I won't have an accident or put them on the body anywhere. I'm going to get my neck taped up. You all know how I level frets. I'm going to tape the fingerboard up, get my neck straight, go across a not straight edge, make sure the neck's straight. Then we are just going to tape it all up, and we're going to go across with a levelling beam, blah blah blah. I'll come back at various intervals and show little bits of the work, but I'm not doing this one in detail because I would like to get this one done today, and I'd like Anthony to pick this up tonight before he goes to, which he will do. He'll come and pick it up before he goes to work, because he'll be on nights this week, and he will want to pick it up just after tea time, I should imagine. Not that I'm rushing the job, never rush jobs like this, but I would like to crack on. Stay tuned. I now have the fingerboard taped up. We have 10 frets with high spots. There are 14 areas over 10 frets. You'll see there by looking at the black pen. Blah 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 blah. We're using this as a surrogate body, so we're not going to damage the body when we get to filing this end. Fret areas, we've got basically 1 fret there. We've got 2 areas right from there to there. You'll see how it works. I normally do three areas, sometimes 4. So I go 1, 2, 3, 4. But normally centre line, far side, near side. And here you've just got far side. Here you've got 2 middle sides. Far side, middle, 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 and centre on that one. You got two far sides on this one, middle and far side on that one, far side on that one, near side on this one. So 10 frets, 14 areas on those frets. I've got the neck dead straight. Can't really show you with the camera where it is, but you'll get the idea. That's dead straight across the neck. We have it all taped up, so we can now just skim it across with the levelling beam. I will be going across. I've explained this many times before. That is the 240 grit on that side, 400 grit on that side. This levelling beam has been milled absolutely flat. It's as flat as you can get it. I'll go across with 240 to remove the main material. Once we are level, I'll finish off with a 400 just to smooth it off. I will show a little bit of that job in process very shortly. And there we are, and it's quite a simple procedure. I will just be taking my levelling beam and just sanding the neck until all these dark black areas have gone, and I'll keep checking that that everything becomes level with the frets that don't need attention. I can see already that material is being removed. Sometimes it pays to this area is not being touched at the moment. It means this one's excessively high. So what I'll do is I will go and take a file and bring that down a little. I get two files out. I get quite a rough one here and a really smooth Swiss number 4 cut one there. And I always have fret rocker handy just to check that one's still high there. It's the reason we're not touching this one, even though that's high. Just a smooth file. And now, so we should now hit this one. And again, nice even strokes. It looks like I'm pressing down, but I'm not. Letting the file or letting the sandpaper and the beam do the work. Just pause for a second. I had to stop because the postman was hurtling towards my front door, and with good reason. She had some parcels for me, so it's a good job I stopped there. But anyway, I carried on after I'd stopped to finish filing, blah 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 blah, and I've levelled all of the frets. They now all have silver tops, but I've now flattened them. Where I would say we've removed probably 1/10 of a millimetre, maybe a little more, 0.15 of a millimetre off the height, but I've flattened them all out now, and we need to get that crown back in. So what I'm going to do is brush away all the filings, sand and what have you. I don't need this anymore, so I'll stick that on my other bench. I'll clean that before I put it away. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to go across with a fret rocker, just checking that all the frets are level. One easy quick way I could do it is put the not straight edge on there, then move it across so it's on top of the frets, and I can go and have a look, and I can see that there's no gap at all under the frets. And I'll do that in the 3 positions: middle, outside and inside. As I look at it, it looks fantastic. So I'm going to go across with a fret rocker, just a quick check, make sure everything's level, and I know it will be. Yeah, very, very good. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take the camera off the tripod, and I'm just going to come and show you that all the frets are silver tops now because they've all been filed or sanded. These are great. We have no high spots anywhere anymore. So we have all of the frets level. Let me just see if I can just bring this to the camera rather than move the camera. and I'm going to show there, and you should be able to see that all of the frets are now silver topped. It means all the pen has been removed. It means the frets are level. So what I need to do now is, like I say, we're going to now crown them. I'm going to get the crowning files out. To crown, very simple procedure. Cover them again. Now if you can see the marker pen from where you are, you will see that there's now a thick line of marker pen across the top of the frets, because the frets are now flat. We don't want them flat, because if they're flat they buzz. So we need to put that crown, look from there to there, that way across. We need to take it from being flat to putting that curve back in there, the crown. I think you all know exactly what I'm talking about nowadays. I've explained it enough times. So marking up the frets, and we're in the right position. Yeah, good position there. I'll just zoom in a little and you'll be able to see what I'm doing better. And I'll go and get my files. And I know I've shown it many times before, but I'm going to also show it on this video as well, how to crown frets. And I don't need these two files anymore, because my crowning files I can also level if I need to. Always clean the files after use. Didn't use this one. I don't even really need this file anymore. If I need to remove any really lots of material, I can use this one because it's a good deep cut. But anyway, let's go and get the crowning files while we're here. I'll be using 3 crowning files as I normally do. My Crimson Guitar 3-edge file. All the edges are ground smooth, so I don't dig into the fingerboard when I'm crowning. And what I do with this is, I prefer to use this. I do have a proper crowning file with the grooves already cut in, which works fine, but I only really use this to remove the burrs when I've crowned. I prefer crowning by hand, and I have 2 files. I have this one which is coarse from Crimson Guitars, and I also have a fine cut one which is around about a number 3 cut. Again, ground edges. This has got 1 complete flat side and 2 crowning sides there. And these work both exactly the same. I'm going to use my Crimson one first because it removes more material. And now I work this is, let's get that up there. I'll go, this is on the far side of the fret, I'll go vertical, and what I'll do is, as a file, I'm going to roll over and in, roll over and over, and it's going to put that crown in there. And when I come to doing this side, I'll do vertical again, I'll roll away from the camera, and we're going to make that flat bit into a curve, doing one side at a time, which is the crown. This one removes slightly more material. I don't know if you're going to see from where you are, but it's just a matter of, and now I'm rolling over slightly. Going backwards or forwards, or just doing long straight strokes, doesn't matter. It only cuts in one direction anyway, this file. Then I'll go to the other side using a different side of the blade, and you get to feel this working. And now I have a nice thin line down the top of the fret. I want to get as thin, not as thin as possible, but around about 1/4 of a millimetre. So I'm going to finish off with a smoother file. Same action. And then I will finish off with the crowning file. I'm going to use the 3mm side first, finish off with a 2mm side. So just keep it clean, just to remove any burrs, nice and gentle. Clean the file. Turn it over, use a 2.5mm side. And that is 1 fret done. All we've left a thin black line right down the centre there. That should be absolutely fine. Now I have 21, or how many do I have? I don't know. 14, 16, 18, 20, 22 frets, 21 more to do, so I'm going to crack on with that. Once that's done, we can move on to the polishing. This, by the way, now has a beautiful D-shape. I'm going to turn this around and show you close up, because I like you to see this. I want you to be looking at this edge and compare it with this one. We now have the D, where this is flat, this now has the D shape, and I'm going to turn it more or less where it is. And if you want to zoom in, you'll see that this fret is now got the beautiful round crown, and this is flat. Got that beautiful D shape back there. We've not removed any height because we left that line down the centre, so that's going to be perfect. Right, I'm going to crack on, get these done, and we'll move on to the polishing. And the frets are all crowned. You're not really seeing anything from there, but if you hold this here and you zoom in, you'll see that they're not flat on the top anymore, they're all D-shaped. We have that beautiful crown. If you want to zoom in there, pause now. Then this side. I did do a close-up earlier of these frets, so if you want to pause now, put my hand behind it so you can see that they're all nicely domed. And there you go. Took me, I don't know, get it on best part of 45 minutes to an hour. They look fantastic. So what we need to do next is we need to take them over to the polishing table. I'm going to remove the neck from the MDF. We don't need it on there anymore. I'm going to put it in the vise and we are going to polish the frets. It's going really well at the moment. I'm going to take a little bit of time out because it's time for me to go upstairs, top floor, to our gym and have 20-25 minutes working out. So I'll be back on this in about, I don't know, let's say an hour's time. So we now get to the final stages of polishing. I've been across with six different grits of paper. We've got 800, 1000, 1200, 1500, 2000 and 2500, blah blah blah. And I'm just finishing off with steel wool. Also, there's been a change of plan. I put a bone nut in there. I've already glued it in while I was doing the polishing, because the radius was slightly different on the original Fender cycloback nut, and when I pressed it down in the centre it snapped it off. So what I've done with this, I've glued a bone nut in there, but what I did was I put some epoxy underneath the nut to fill in that gap. That is now glued in. It just needs, it's very high, as you may see at the end there. I will need to remove at least probably a millimetre and a half off the top, but I will crown it, or radius it should I say, and I will cut brand new slots. But what I'm doing now is going across the finest grade steel wool, super fine steel wool, grade 0000, and I'm finishing off polishing the frets, and I get right into the corners each side and across the top. I've already been down the edges and these are looking fantastic. It looks like, the whole neck looks like brand new frets all the way down the neck. What I'll do is when I cut the nut, I'll put the neck back on the body, because I want strings on to make sure I cut the nut slots to the right depth. A bit long-winded because it strings off, strings on, strings off, strings on, strings off, strings on till you get it right, but it gives us more of an idea. And you don't totally take the strings off, you just loosen them a lot. But anyway, here's these frets, and they're going really quite well at the moment. They look fantastic, they look beautiful. They're like glass. We don't polish them to make them shine, we also polish them to remove the last of the scratches. So these will be scratch free and super shiny. I will come back and show you these once I've got the neck out of a vise and I've removed the tape, and then I'll spray with a little bit of mineral oil just to clean up the fingerboard and nourish the wood. But there you go, about another 10 minutes worth of polishing on this, getting right in at the corners. Let's go, they look absolutely beautiful. 7 done so far, another 15 to do. And here we are with the frets finished. And they look absolutely fantastic. I've just treated the fingerboard in mineral oil. It's ebony fingerboard. I say mineral oil, you call it lemon oil, most people call it lemon oil. It's actually mineral oil with a hint of lemon in there just to make it smell nice. But it's specially formulated mineral oil for rosewood and ebony wood. It not only cleans, it also treats the wood, and you should do this at least once a year, maybe even twice a year, once every 6 months. Just a coat, let's take 15 minutes, wipe it back off. And there you go, and I'm going to show the crown on the frets. So I'm just going to hold that there, and if you want to zoom in, or full screen it, you'll see that all of these frets are now crowned. It means instead of them being flat on the top, we've got that beautiful crown there, both sides. There you go. Let's go this side, and there you go, and they look fantastic. They look really, really good. Highly polished, nice and smooth. That's going to please. Right, you'll now see also I've also got a new bone nut in there. I've gone with a bone nut for reasons I explained earlier. It is very, very high at the moment. It needs filing down. I'll take at least, probably got to take 2mm off the top of that. But what I'll do is I'll get that in my vise in a bit. I'll remove a millimetre, get it all completely flat. I don't want it arching down like that just yet. I want to get it completely flat, and then we'll get some strings on. I'll determine where I'm going to file the grooves for the strings. I'm not going to use these slots that are already in there because they're not absolutely correct. I do have a proper rule for determining where each string goes, going narrower on each string. But the neck looks absolutely beautiful. So what I'm going to do is I'll put this back on the guitar now. I'll get it back on the vise over there. I'll alter the vise to just grip this end, and I'll file this down. Take it reasonably close to where I want it to be, leaving more material on there than I need. Because if we go too long on that, I've got to pull it out and put another one in. And I don't want to do that. So crack on with that now. And let's get it. Not something I show often, but I am cutting the nut while it's on the guitar, and I've just about done it. And what I do is I use a triangle file. I've got a really nice sharp file, and all I do is just shape the top like so. And any bone dust I collect here, I save it. Goes in a bag, and I save it just in case I ever need to fill and repair a slot at any time. We can use some bone dust and some super glue if we ever go too deep. And it's a good repair. Don't use it often, but I do always save it. Now I've more or less shaped this nut to where I need it to be. And when it comes to the end, I just round over the edges here. Nice and gentle. I've already done both sides. Now I'm not saying that nut is where it needs to be just yet, but it's pretty close to where it needs to be. I don't need to go much lower than that. So I'm going to stop cutting there, and I'm going to move it over to the other bench. I'm going to put the neck back on the guitar, and we're going to put some strings on. And we're going to try and get this nut. Well, we're going to put new nut slots in there for the strings, and we'll alter the height of the nut accordingly. Once I've got the slots cut, I can come back, bring it on here, and we can file it back down to where we need it to be. Ideally, I want half a string inside the slot and the whole string inside the slots on the higher end up here. Okay, something else I don't show very often, and I've cut in the slots for the nut. And how I do that is I determine where I want the 1st and 6th strings, and I have here what you call a nut slot rule or a bridge slot rule for your saddles as well. And it gets increasingly smaller at one end and bigger at the other. And what you do is you get your 6 lines, and I've already marked out where I needed to be here, and they go decreasing ever so slightly. I think it's 0.018mm per string. And what we do is we mark 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we get marks for 6 strings, one there, then we mark every interval inside, and it gives us correct spacing for each string centre. Once I've got where I want the centres to be, lining up there between the 2 blue lines, which you may or may not see, I'm then going to cut these slots. And all I'm going to do first is I'm just going to put a tiny nick in there with my thinnest file. I'll take my Hosco number 10 edge. This is a number 10 cut, which is a thinnest, which is a 10 string, which is this side, sorry, and the other side's a 26, which is, so you've got the 1st string, 4th string, the next one will be 2 and 5 and 3 and 6. It's how the files work. So I'll just take the 10 cut and I'll just cut a little notch where I need the centre to be on every string space in there. And this is where every string is, where the strings are going to go. It's critical to get this right, because that determines your string spacing. Now I can't go back now, I've cut these, and again here, and that's it. I've cut the start of each notch, so I know where I'm going to be cutting for the strings now, or for the string slots. Well, I'm on the wrong side now because the camera's in the way, but I'm just going to make these notches just a little bit then I can go with the correct width file once I've got these done. And there you go. I now have 6 very thin grooves in there. Is where I'm going to cut my string slots. Make them a little bit wider. And that is it. That's where my slots are going to be. I will get the correct width file now, and I'll cut each slot individually. For instance, 10 and 26, so that'll cut the top E, the first and the fourth strings. 26 will be here, because that's the average size of that string width, 0.2026 of an inch. Now I've completely the wrong angle here, so I'm going to I can now remove the neck, put it on my guitar and go and cut these slots accordingly. Once I've got to the depth I need, I'll put the neck back on here and I'll file the top of the nut down again until we've got it at the right height, till only half a string is inside the slot. Apart from these 3, we'll go the whole string will go in the slot, half a string in these slots on the lower strings. So we're now getting to the nitty gritty of cutting the nut, and you'll see I've already cut the depth correct on some of the strings, on the last 2 and the first one. And I'm going to zoom in a little and I'm going to show you how I do this. So what I do first is I get a feeler gauge, for instance, and I always drop these down above the first fret, the first string, to about 0.3 millimeters, which is just about there. Just under. Once we're getting that rattle on 0.3, that's enough. And on these ones at this side, I normally go round about 0.5, start with 0.5 and drop down to 0.4. 0.5, just rattling. So I'll move over to a 0.4. That's from the top of the fret to the bottom of the string, 0.4 millimeters. Same on the next string. The next one I'll cut to 0.4, and these 2 again to 0.3, but I'll slightly alter. I'll go a little bit more than 0.3 there, or just about 0.3, it's less. 0.3, just over 0.3. Now these are really quite high compared to these, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the second string. So I'm going to drop the feeler gauge to 0.3, and I don't want to go any lower than that 0.3. I will eventually take it down to about 0.25, sometimes even 0.2, but because this is going to be detuned, I'm going to leave this quite high. This is about a millimetre over. So it's very, very high. So what I'm going to do is I'll loosen the string. And I'll take the correct file. This is a 13.013 of an inch gauge. So this is about the right one. And I'm going to cut this right down. Make sure I've got the right file in there. And I'm going to try and keep the file as straight as possible. And I'm going to cut into the nut, and I'm going to come back and check every and I'm going to slightly angle it just to widen that slot just a little. I don't want to go too low. I've done that before. And then what we do is again we'll put the string back in under the string tree, tighten up, and we'll check again. We're still half a mil too high, but it's better to be too high than too low. And we'll just keep going until we've got it right. I'm now going to angle back slightly toward the angle that I want the string to be going down to. Just break angle across the nut, because I want it going downwards towards the string tree now. Again, check again. If we have to do this 10 times, check, remove, cut again, it's what we'll do. Because believe me, you don't want to go too deep, because you've got to put a new knot on there and start again. And that's perfect. Just ringing out, that is perfect. I'm going to move on to the next one. Now what I'm going to do is these 4 strings are done, these 2 and these 2. Once I've got all the slots cut to the right depth, I'll remove the strings, put it back on the other bench, and I'll file the top of the nut again, just till we leave half a hole down there. We'll leave for a 3/4, maybe even a full, just enough for the string to sit in there on these three. And these will be just about, we'll have a third sticking out the top. So we're going to lower the nut right down again. I'm going to do these two off camera, and then I'm going to move over to the other bench and we'll get this nut finished off. Then we can proceed with setting up the guitar. And there I have all the slots cut to where I need them to be. Now we're not totally finished yet, because these are all very, very close where I need them to be. But what I'll do is I'm going to remove the strings, go back over, file the nut down, shape the edges, and then I'm going to come back and I'm going to tweak these slots ever so slightly when I get back. But my main priority now is to get this top millimetre, just about a top millimetre removed of the nut, so it's shaped nice and neat, and we'll get these edges shaped properly. I'm going to do that on the other bench. I'm not going to film it like I said I was, but I will come back and show the finished result later. And here we are finally with the nut cut to how I need it to be. But these slots are a little bit deep, but not too deep. They're as deep as they need to be. But the thing is, I need to remove quite a bit at the top of the nut now to bring it right down to 1/2 and 1/2. By 1/2 and 1/2, I mean, I'll get the right file. By 1/2 and 1/2, I mean I need the string to be half in the groove on these three, probably 2/3 in on this one, and fully in on these. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove quite a bit of material, and I probably need a better file than I'm actually using, but this is the sharpest one I've got right now, so I'm just going to start removing material. It's just a matter of keep filing until I get close. I've got this piece of paper stuck underneath the guitar there because I'm going to save these filings, because I can use them again. And just keep checking every now and again to see where I am. Going to need to remove a bit more material yet though. Now we're getting close. You see now this one is a lot lower than it was, but it's getting pretty good there. Need to start removing a bit more from his middle area. Can be a bit hit and miss on this, so you just need to keep checking your progress. You don't want to remove too much because your strings are going to start slipping. You don't want that. Looking pretty good, pretty good. I think we're more or less where we need to be on these ones. Just doing the angle back towards the headstock now, just angle it back slightly. And I think I'm just about where I need to be with all of that. I'm really quite pleased with all of that. I'm going to remove this piece of paper, and you see I have not too much bone dust here, but I have some, which I put in the bag with the rest of the stuff, just in case we ever need to make a paste for a filler later on. I shall take and I think we are more or less, I think that's pretty good. Don't mind these ones being a bit deeper on this side. I could still go quite a bit lower. I'm not worried about saving any more dust. So it can be quite, not so much long-winded, you just got to be patient with this. You don't want to remove too much. And that looks pretty good to me. I'm quite pleased with that. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to round over these edges. Make it nice and neat. Oh, that looks beautiful. I really like the look of that side. That's good. I'll come behind the other side now. I'm working behind the camera. The camera is slightly in the way, but I can work around it. So if I look awkward, it's because I'm working over the camera. That seems to be about right. See what I think there? That's pretty good. Just a little bit. Get a brush on there. Because that, my friends, is done. I'll put a little bit of pencil lead in there, a bit of lubricant on the strings. And it's not lead, is it? It'd be graphite. And that is the nut cut. I can now remove the guitar from the vise and we'll go and get the strings back on and get the guitar set up. And here we are, all done. Not bad, say he dropped it off last night. He can pick it up tonight if he wants. There you go. The guitar has had a complete fret level. Fret level includes leveling the frets, recrowding them, polishing them, oiling the neck. It's also had an intensive setup. So the new set of strings on there, set of Ernie Ball, what are they called? I don't know. They're a slinky, they're a heavy bottom set anyway. A 1052 set. I forget what they're called. New set of strings on there, tuned down to drop C. Like so. We've put a brand new nut on there, a bone nut which I've cut by hand. I think you'll agree that's pretty nice. So the complete setup, I've just done the intonation, set the action, set the neck, set the action, a little bit of relief in there. I've set the action, set regular action, 1.5mm above the 12th fret on the first string, 1.75 on the bass string, but then what I've done is once I've got the radius set for all strings going in the correct arc, I've then slightly highered this to just under. That's just over 1.75. We'll just take it out a little bit higher, so it's about 1.85mm above the 12th fret, just to stop any of that buzzing or vibration, because it's down tuned. You're going to play it heavier, but that's going to be fine. There's no buzz anywhere. It looks fantastic. It is a made in Mexico Fender Jim Root signature guitar with EMG 8160 active pickups. Just one volume on there, no tone. Beautiful guitar. Bolt on neck as Fenders are, locking tuners, and it's fantastic, and it is all done. So fret friends, another project finished. So until the next time, as always, check my website, which is facebook.com/ng17. If you're typing it out, facebook.com/NGONESEVEN. That's facebook.com/ng17. You can also check my Fret Friend page out, fretfriend.co.uk. Not a lot on there, I ain't got around to building it yet. Keep saying I will, but maybe one day I will. So Fret Friends, that is it till the next time. This is me, Victor Christian, your Fret Friend, signing off. And as always, until next time, boys and girls, be good to each other, and I'll see you again soon.